film made by a group of artists and performers from the freelance task force that are neuro-divergent and/or have a disability. Interviews with Ellie Mason, Paul Christian and Charlene Salter. With help and thanks to Joe Paul, Heather Johnson, Miss Jacqui and Miranda Yates. Music and edit by Alice Theobald.
Tell me a time when you've been excluded.
I feel most excluded when no one is listening to me because of the way that I talk and the way that I speak and how I pronounce things, and sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to get out the words that I want to get out, and most of all that people don't take the time out to take the time out to listen to me. This happens to me like every time during like things like auditions and in social situations. It can be a real struggle and effort for me to get out the words, and they just because people they have a much more they can talk much more faster than I do. Sometimes it makes me feel miserable and very excluded from the conversation, and I don't like that.
I had a job and they specifically wanted a wheelchair user for an advert on a social media site, and it was in like a building kind of thing, like a big place. Like they made it into like a living room thing, like where you had to film, and they didn't have a disabled toilet even then. I had to ask one of the production people where the nearest disabled toilet was, and he's like, oh, there's a Marks and Spencer's about 3 miles away. I've been in that situation before as well, for when I've been asked to go to auditions / photo shoots / castings.
When I've been excluded in the theatre, my partner Terry is in a wheelchair. There's no ramps, and even on public transport, some people are not very respectful of their wheelchair space and not taking Terry very seriously for the wheelchair.
My dad does some extra work as well, and they called out, can we put someone in a wheelchair who's non-disabled? I wasn't there, but in a way I wish I was, because they could have used me as an extra, as a proper disabled user, not just use someone that's non-disabled. And my dad, when he got home, he told me, and I was like really upset and disappointed on how they went about the situation. What helps you to create and work well?
What really helps me is the people who are going to be on my side. people who are gonna stick up for me, when people would like to see beaten down, who like to keep saying no. People who always love to hear what's saying, what they want to hear the words that's coming out of your mouth, instead of people saying no and just being mean and cruel to you.
When I have people that are patient, and if I don't understand, then they need to, like directors, casting directors, anything within the arts, and the people that's communicating with me needs to have patience and understanding, and make things quite simple, because if it's not simple, I get confused and I get quite anxious. And plus the fact I need my carers to be patient and have the time to let me speak and and basically that's always on my mind all the time.
What helps me to work creatively is someone that has the same interest, and someone that knows their stuff and knows what support that we, myself or somebody else needs. Also, I'm not very good at writing, so I need someone to help me scribe, and also for timekeeping, and also images helps me to know stuff more clearly, and also not too much jargon, because I feel that that's really difficult, and I don't really understand very words that I don't really know, so less of jargon.
What have you been doing recently to keep yourself creative?
To keep myself creative in these uncertain times, I've been looking at different styles of how people work and how people like to view themselves on camera, and how people really perceive what they act, how people like to act, and personally, through these uncertain times in lockdown, I've been participated in this audio show called Still Here, which is all about the NHS and what they have done in these lockdown times.
Well, I have my singing lessons once on Zoom, once a week with my singing teacher, and that's keeping me going. And yeah, I've been finding loads of agencies. Met this agent through lockdown that's specifically for people with disabilities. Basically, I'm on her books now, and I wish I found her years ago. Yeah, she'd given me 3 jobs through lockdown. I was on TV at the beginning of lockdown. Forgot that actually.
What has kept me to be creative is that even though it's a bit difficult at the moment, I've been singing and dancing, which has made me feel better at these difficult times. I've also been doing painting by numbers, and also I am co-creating my show called The Interrogation, which is about society judging people of learning disability, how they speak, and also judging for something that they haven't done wrong.
How has the way you work and create changed over the last 3 months? Are you facing new barriers?
Working creatively has changed because we have to work online due to lockdown, and it to be honest, it has been pretty frustrating, but also it gives us an opportunity as well to work much more differently to how we normally are used to working. I would say the challenges are the ability to hear ourselves clearly, and because and it's all about the how strong your Wi-Fi connection is, because you might be in a meeting and it suddenly gets cut off, and that in the meeting, and just like mine is now, it's unstable, and it's little things like that that can be pretty annoying and frustrating.
For my singing lessons, I've had to do them through Zoom, and it's been slightly difficult because there's a bit of gap between, you know, it's not very clear sometimes. Yeah, mentally challenging, quite stressful sometimes, but it's a new way of life, I think, at the moment. And I said to my teacher, my singing teacher, I said, oh, I can't wait until it goes back to normal. And she's like, oh, I don't know when that will be. I said, yeah, I know, but it's quite difficult. But I want to still carry on because my lessons are keeping me going, and plus the fact that they're helping my speech, you know. So yeah, it's been hard to exercise. I can't go to the gym, I can't go swimming, I can't do all the things that I'm used to, and it's been really hard, and I've got weaker, my muscles have got weaker, and I was quite depressed at the beginning, well, very depressed at the beginning of lockdown. I just thought, oh, you know, I was a bit kind of didn't know what to do, you know. I'm limited when I've got my carers around. I've got my mum, but when I haven't got my carers around, I can't do certain things. I couldn't go out, I couldn't do what I'm used to doing, you know. I like to keep busy, and coronavirus has maybe made me feel a little bit down.
Because everything is online, I feel very frustrated, even though it's good, but also for me it's really frustrating because when you're doing it online, you have to have a good Wi-Fi connection, or also there's sound problems or there's interference and that. But the thing is, I know that we have to get to the new norm. So But the thing that I'm really worried about is when we do get back together, will we forget how we used to work together, like in a room and space and that?
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's really not easy. I missed being with David, because me and David has got quite a close bond, and I'm missing being around people and being around him, artistic people. I'm just missing generally my friends. What could the future look like if we were all included?
What would I like to see in the future going forward? Looking what it could or should look like if we were all included. It would be a new age of Woodstock. Everyone would be included. No animosity or apathy or discrimination. Everything would be totally peaceful with each other. It will show an evolutionary growth in our human understanding of how we ultimately want to see the world. And to think of us that accepting people is where we all want to be in life. Everything would be accessible for people with disabilities and without. People who are ethnically diverse and now becoming leaders in their own right and not fading into the background. And there should be more equal opportunities to join the industry that we love so much.
What I think the future would look like is we would all come together and just work as a team, and also there'll be a lot of knowledge how things the right way, how they should be doing the right way, and that there'll be a lot of working together, no one being left out, and we would also be working higher places as well, and we would learn more, and also we'd be looking out more. We'd be like spotted out a lot more instead of being behind closed doors or being left behind or being pushed aside. We'll be there a lot, and our voices will be heard a lot, and things will be doing the right way without all the wrongs and arguments and stuff. And no, there wouldn't be no worries at all. I think it would be how it should be assessed, like access and stuff would be improved and taken care of properly, how they should be doing, which should be done right away. But yeah, that's what I think.
More friendly regarding wheelchair access, and also being open to anyone with a disability. More disabled people should be shown in the arts, meaning TV, modelling, theatre. People that's in wheelchairs should be on stage more, like they shouldn't be excluded. And they can't actually get on the stage. I was at a performance with my group, and I went all the way there, and they were on the stage, and I had to perform on the floor because I couldn't get on the stage. Disabled people have a lot to offer, and they should be respected more. And be helpful to disabled people more than the world is now. Yes, it is getting more friendly, but it should be able to be friendlier or more capable. I would like to still get paid and also still get my benefits. That's the main thing that really upsets me. Being paid just a small amount, like but I wish I could be paid a bit more. And why shouldn't I be paid a bit more? I mean, people are opening up now regarding disabled people, but why shouldn't they open up about the money side of things as well? It needs to be a bridge between payment and being a role model for people with disabilities. It shouldn't be just one or other. It shouldn't be limited. Do you know what I mean? Everywhere should be disabled friendly. Everywhere. Everywhere should be wheelchair accessible and wheelchair friendly. Everywhere should have massive disabled toilets and just, and just friendly.